Smith has a bit there.
There is Smith coming in with the wailing right hand. Smith, wide sweeping right hand. From long range, they tagged him. Oh, and Jesse Hart is hurt.
Oh,
good shot that time, and a right hand comes in from Joe Smith Jr. as well.
he's not going to deter him. There
Look
he
at
is.
Joe Smith right here. Middle of the ring. A series of punches, and goes straight back with a right hand. Looking to split that guard again. Punishing attack here against Jesse Hart.
And he can't keep him off.
Oh, he goes down. A right hand scores the knockdown for Smith Jr. Joe Smith Jr. will be celebrating deep into the night here at Hard Rock Live.
Welcome to G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button as you come on in. Big shout out to all the sponsors of the channel. All the information is in the description box. And follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at BoxingFirst Jeff TV. Joe Smith, Jesse Hart. It went down. Atlantic City. The buzz in the building was crazy. I was extremely pleased with the card overall from top to bottom. And Joe Smith won a split decision. I'm not going to fraud. It should have been a unanimous decision. And I'm going to get right to it. I'm from Philly. And I'm not going to sit up here and try to front or fraud like Jesse. That's my guy. That's my guy. And I've talked to Jesse several times leading up to this fight. So I have a more in-depth perspective on the fight last night. And this is going to be about as real as it gets. Period. On YouTube. Here's the thing. The promotion for this fight was real. I know there's probably some people that's probably thinking like, yo, like the promotion couldn't have been real because Jesse was doing too much moving, running, blah, 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 blah. Listen, the promotion was real. Bernard Hopkins was the backstory to this fight. Bernard Hopkins was and still is Jesse Hart's mentor right now. And he's been Jesse Hart's mentor since Jesse Hart was a kid. None of that stuff is fake. All of that is facts. So Jesse Hart's motivation is exactly what he told you what his motivation was. So I want to get that out of the way. Outside of that, let's get down to actual boxing and breaking down this fight. Number one, the judge that had it 95-94, Jesse Hart, I just want to let you know you were on the finest juices. The finest juices. It's no way Jesse Hart won 95-94 with a knockdown in the 7th round. Like, it's no way. It's no way. And I'm saying that, and that's my guy. Jesse Hart's my guy. You know what I'm saying? He's from Philly, and I'm always support Philly, but facts is facts, boxing is boxing. It's no way Jesse Hart won 95-94 and got knocked down in the 7th round. That's just what it is. So that judge needs to be checked out. Period. Number two, I was concerned about Jesse Hart after round one. Did he get knocked down in round one? No. Was he in trouble in round one? No. But let me tell you why I was concerned. Jesse Hart did everything that I was afraid of going into this fight. Number one, he moved entirely too much. Entirely too much. And I'm like, if Jesse continues to move like this throughout the first 3-4 rounds, he's going to be winded after 4 rounds. When you're moving around like that, it just takes a lot of energy from you. It takes a lot of energy from you. That was one thing I was concerned about. Then to add on to that, he only did it about twice in the first round, but he threw an uppercut from the outside, and he was way too far outside. And he got away with it in the first round, and I was just like, you know what? You can't do that with a guy that's a hooker. Because I'm like, you're trying to trade a counter uppercut from the outside with a hook from Joe Smith, and Joe Smith's going to be on balance with his hook. You're going to be off balance with your uppercut. I didn't like that either in the first round. Third thing, if you're familiar with this channel, I have a famous catchphrase, and it's when you are fighting a guy, you don't let that guy walk into your front door without him paying an admission fee. You do not let your opponent walk through your front door. Don't let him get inside of you. And you don't make him pay that admission fee before you get in there. Joe Smith was just walking in, and Jesse wasn't giving him anything to think about as he was walking into his front door. So those were the three things. Those were the three red flags right there after the first round. I'm like, if Jesse does this the entire fight, I'm like, he's going to lose his fight. He's going to lose his fight. As the fight went on, Jesse continued to move around too much. Jesse continued to not sit down on his shots because he was moving around so much. He continued to throw that uppercut from the outside, and he was way too far outside, and he was off balance. And on top of that, because of the movement, he wasn't able to throw a power jab to give Joe Smith something to think about before he came walking in the front door. Everything that I seen in the first round that I was concerned about, Jesse continued to do it throughout the first half of the fight. By round 4, Jesse was winded. I don't care what he says. He can say he wasn't winded. He was fine. He didn't have it after round 4. He was winded from all of that movement. It wasn't even the fact that Jesse was landing anything crazy. He was winded from the movement. At some point, when you face a guy that has Joe Smith's power, sometimes you got to sit there and stand your ground and let him know, like, you're not going to be moving around all night. Like, I'm going to give you something to think about. Jesse never really sat down and did that on a consistent basis. He never did it on a consistent basis. Jesse Hart, if Jesse Hart was going to be moving around the ring like that, I might, okay, maybe Jesse's going to start setting some traps. He's going to start setting some traps, and he's going to have Joe Smith run into some shit. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, well, maybe Jesse's going to start running traps on Joe Smith. And the thing was, after probably round 2 or round 3, I was like, Jesse's not setting no traps. I'm like, he's not setting no traps. Because he was getting winded with all of the movement. The only way I would condone all of that movement is unless you're establishing a jab or you're setting traps to have your opponent run into shots. Jesse wasn't doing either one. And it's crazy just watching that fight, because not only was Jesse Hart not doing a lot of the things that he needed to do, but he was already behind on the scorecards anyway because of the promotion of the fight. The way Jesse was promoting this fight, he was like, yo, I'm coming to test you. I'm coming to get you. Like, when you plant that seed in people's brains, you're thinking it's going to be some Mickey Ward or Arturo Gatti type shit. So when you come out and you come out actually boxing, moving, trying to throw the jab, people are going to be against you because the way you're fighting is against what you promoted. And I know this to be a fact because the same thing happened with Triple G Canelo too. Triple G promoted Mexican style. Told Canelo to sit down and fight. Canelo sat down and fight, and he fought that fight. And Triple G was the one that was moving around in boxing. And even though Triple G did it well, he got killed for it. He probably lost a fight off of that alone. I was thinking the same thing in this Jesse Hart Joe Smith fight. And mind you, all credit to Joe Smith. He did what he had to do. And Joe Smith continued to throw his hands. He didn't get frustrated. And people be like, oh, well, why he didn't cut off the ring? Listen, cutting off the ring it's an art. And not many people are able to do it. People that are technically sound can't cut off the ring. It's something that requires patience. It requires footwork. And it requires you to be disciplined. It requires you to be disciplined when you're trying to cut the ring off. So I knew Joe Smith wasn't going to be able to cut the ring off. But the main thing is that he didn't get frustrated. That was the main thing. And that was the That was the best thing that Joe Smith did all night. He didn't get frustrated. He continued to let his hands go. I didn't like the referee neither. I didn't like Harvey Dock. Harvey Dock was stopping Joe Smith a lot of times, telling him stop hitting behind the back of the head, stop doing this, stop doing that, keep your arms down. But a lot of that stuff was being done because, let's just face it, Jesse Hart was doing a lot of holding. He was doing a lot of holding, a lot of clinching. You know what I'm saying? He was doing a lot of holding, a lot of clinching. Basically, you have to commend both guys for going in, fighting hard, putting it all out there on the line. The promotion and everything leading up to the fight, it created a crazy buzz inside of the building. So mission accomplished as far as that. But at the end of the day, Joe Smith was the better fighter. He came in with the better game plan. Jesse Hart did too much moving. Didn't sit down on any of his shots. And he didn't make Joe Smith think about anything before he got inside. And just from a technical standpoint, it was just a lot of things that Jesse Hart should have been doing out there, and he just didn't do it. But it's easy for me to say that, and I'm not in the ring throwing the shots. You understand what I'm saying? Or taking the punches. But just from the outside looking in, I think a lot of things technically went wrong in that fight for Jesse Hart. But me knowing Jesse Hart, I think he'll be the first person to tell you, like, hey, listen, some things just didn't work out from a technical standpoint. When you're moving around like that, you have to set traps for your opponent. If you're not setting traps for your opponent, you're pretty much moving around and there's no benefit to it. There's no benefit to it. But it was a good fight. Joe Smith did what he had to do. I don't think the referee was 100% on his A game, and I think that judge that had it 95, 94 is on the finest juices. But Joe Smith, bigger things for Joe Smith at 175. And Jesse Hart, he has to go back to the drawing board, and he got to find out if he wants to fight at 175 or 168. And in the preview video to this fight, my breakdown and prediction video, I said that Joe Smith that's a hell of a name to introduce yourself to the 175-pound division. So I knew that was going to be a problem for Jesse because Joe Smith is a power guy. Like, he's a power guy. And I always believe take a fight or two to get yourself acclimated to the weight. And for Jesse Hart to get himself acclimated to the weight against a Joe Smith, that was a tall task. But I thought Jesse Hart was going to basically set himself up to land that uppercut. The uppercut was there. It was there for him to land. He was just too far out when he was throwing it. But congratulations to Joe Smith Jr. Jesse Hart, I'll get with you. You know, bottom line is everybody walked out okay. And we're going to see what both of these guys do in the future. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. G5F TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video, support your boy. Support good content at all times. I appreciate y'all. Peace.